Isn't it interesting? Predictable, but interesting. It's already starting. 6 months after Joe Biden left office, the same Joe Biden whose cognitive infirmities crippled the nation, the same Joe Biden who was president in name only for 4 years, the same Joe Biden who likely wasn't ever really in charge, is still being protected by the same people who are now, in many cases, trying to protect themselves, their careers, their legacies, without any regard for the truth. Enter Jen Psaki, Joe Biden's former White House press secretary, a woman who spent years lying about Joe Biden's health from inside the White House, is still lying for him. She's still doing it, just now she's doing it on MSNBC. And according to Jen, Joe Biden doesn't have dementia. Donald Trump has dementia, a narrative that MSNBC has been quietly, slowly pushing out for several weeks now to an audience that sadly is all too willing to believe it.
Recently, it seems like he is, well, not at all okay, I guess is one way to describe it. Within 10 minutes of taking the microphone, he launched into an utterly strange digression about his uncle and the notorious domestic terrorist of all people, Ted Kaczynski. He does not seem to remember basic facts about his own life. He does not seem to remember things that happened as recently as his first term. This is a guy who once boasted he had the best memory of all time. His words, certainly not mine.
A little bit of energy. Jen, come on, a little energy, please. Think about that, though. Jen Psaki, the same woman who spent 2 years covering for Joe Biden, lying about his condition, his health, and covering up the cover-up that was so very obviously happening at the White House, is now trying to claim that it's Donald Trump who has dementia. Forget about Joe Biden. Forget about the last 4 years. According to Jen Psaki, it's Donald Trump we should now all be worried about. Look here, not there. Don't believe your lying eyes. Forget about the past. Listen to what we're telling you to believe right now, which should, by the way, be the slogan at MSNBC. Listen to what we're telling you to believe right now, because none of it's true. Because the same woman who spent 4 years lying about her boss is now trying to claim that what she is being accused of covering up for 4 years is, in fact, exactly what's going on with our current president, a narrative her network, again, has been slowly rolling out as the Joe Biden cover-up continues.
Well, if Donald Trump gets dementia, how will we know? Donald Trump's mental decline, which is more and more obvious, started from such a low level of mental processing power that it's hard to track his decline. It's from low to lower.
So that's what they're saying over on MSNBC tonight. But they never said anything like that when Joe Biden, our addled, atrophied former president, was actually president, to the point where people who were part of the cover-up in the media, like Jake Tapper, for example, are now writing books about said cover-up. And media types, executives wonder why nobody's watching cable news anymore. They wonder why people don't trust the media. This is it. Jen Psaki, someone who history will remember as a girl from Greenwich, who was one of the original architects of the Joe Biden cover-up blueprint. And instead of being honest with her audience and, frankly, honest with herself, Jen claims that Donald Trump has dementia, not Joe Biden. Jen says that Donald Trump is showing the same signs that she claimed Joe Biden never showed when he was president.
I guess either Donald Trump is confessing to having known the identity of the Unabomber more than a decade before he was caught. There could be that, I suppose. Or something is seriously off with Donald Trump. But now those apparent memory lapses are bleeding into the self-inflicted scandal that has rocked his administration for whatever reason, because the guy's a little off right now, it seems. Trump's memory seems to have failed him. Maybe he needs to Google who was president 6 years ago, because Trump was president when Jeffrey Epstein was arrested on sex trafficking charges.
Look, we're not trying to be mean. We aren't trying to be cruel. We can only speculate about what's really going on with Joe Biden because his doctor won't tell us. In fact, when Joe Biden's doctor, Kevin O'Connor, who has some of the best bangs I've ever seen on a man, was asked if Joe Biden was fit to serve as president, instead of simply saying yes, he said this.
Dr. O'Connor, were you ever told to lie about the president's health?
On the advice of counsel, I must respectfully decline to answer based upon the physician-patient privilege and in reliance on my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. I am not a lawyer. I must follow my lawyer's advice in this matter.
Incriminate yourself. Dr. O'Connor said he doesn't want to incriminate himself because Dr. O'Connor was lying to the American people about Joe Biden's condition for 4 years, and they covered for him even after Joe Biden tried to talk to a dead person.
And I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
You remember that? That was all perfectly normal. Joe, Jackie's not there. Jackie Walorski tragically died about a month before that took place. According to MSNBC, according to Jen Psaki, that was all nothing to see here in real time. According to the White House, after Joe Biden tries to commune with a ghost on stage with a microphone in hand, the White House says this.
Of course, she was on his mind. She was of top of mind for the president. I just explained she was on top of mind. I don't find that confusing. I mean, I think many people can speak to sometimes when you have someone top of mind, they're a top of mind, exactly that. And it is also, if you put it into the context, it's not like it happened outside of context, right?
What? We had a president with dementia or Alzheimer's or worse for 4 years, and the media took part in covering up that lie. The greatest political cover-up in modern presidential history, one that we still don't have the answers to, and the media are doing it again. Jen Psaki is a liar, and she knows it. And in her private moments, she knows that she lied on behalf of a man that probably never should have been president in the first place because he was not well. He's still not well. She lied about it and bullied anyone who dared to ask questions about it. People like our own White House correspondent who dared to ask a simple question and was then banned from the White House for doing it.
Thank you very much for this honor. James Rosen with Newsmax. I'd like to raise a delicate subject, but with utmost respect for your life accomplishments and the high office you hold. A poll released this morning by Politico Morning Consult found 49% of registered voters disagreeing with the statement, Joe Biden is mentally fit.
Wow.
Not even a majority of Democrats who responded strongly affirmed that statement.
Well, I'll let you all make the judgment whether they're correct.
Well,
Thank
so
you.
the question I have for you, sir, if you'd let me finish, is why do you suppose such large segments of the American electorate have come to harbor such profound concerns about your cognitive fitness? Thank you.
I have no idea.
That was 3 years ago. And James Rosen was banned from the White House. Banished is probably a better word for asking a question that needed to be asked, that should have been asked. And we are still asking those questions about an administration that did nothing but lie to the American people for more than 4 years. And instead of covering that story, the real story, MSNBC would rather make up a story and cover that lie. Check that. MSNBC would rather make up a story, present it as fact, and then continue to talk about their invented story on a daily basis until that invented story takes hold in the public's imagination as a fact. And just like that, you've got Russiagate all over again. Only this time, they're going to make it about Donald Trump's health. Just watch.